Now, the lads are going to have a look at the Acomb Stakes now. York on Wednesday. It's the 2:30 contest, 7 furlongs. And there's only 5 of them. Alfonso De Souza heads and Joseph O'Brien. American Impact, Barry McHugh. Dundonnell, James Doyle. Ebernara, Paul Hannigan. And Steeler and Kieran Fallon. That's the Acomb Stakes at York on Wednesday. The second race on the card, the 2:30.
Yeah, disappointing. Only 5 runners for the Acomb Stakes. I think 12 or 13 ran last year, so I imagine York are a little bit disappointed, but there is some strength in depth among those 5. Let's start with one who has a fair bit to prove, let's be fair, but he was a winner last time out. This is Tony Coyle's runner. He's only rated 72. He's a horse called American Impact, and we can see him winning at Musselburgh the other day. And interestingly, he's stepping up from 5 to 7, Mark.
Yeah, it's a big step up. I was there that day at Musselburgh. I think the longer trip will undoubtedly suit him. I think he got away with it this day. He beat inferior horses, albeit he doesn't win by too far. The horse back in third, Mount Seymour, we've seen here running the claimer of Nigel Tinkler. Well, he was tailed off. So the form definitely is nothing to get excited about. He's rated 72. Good luck to him. I hope he acquits himself well. But it's worlds apart, isn't it? Winning a race like that to be running in an Acomb.
Yeah, he's a good-looking horse, and it'd be great for Tony if he won, but I think he's going to be up against it. Obviously, a horse that Paul Hannigan thinks an awful lot about is Ebernara, who won at York on his debut and won in some serious style. He won by 5 or 6 lengths on this occasion. You might remember it. It was the Friday night meeting. Made his debut. There was a fair buzz about him beforehand. Hence, he went off the 5-2 favourite. And just watch him here. Just sort of the further he went, the more he grasped what was required, and the better he went. And in the end, he won hands down.
He won well, didn't he? And the form was given a boost over the weekend. He wins by 5 lengths, related of Clive Cox's back in second, won at Newbury on, I'm not sure, Friday or Saturday, but he's won since. The fourth has been beaten since at Wolverhampton, but you're judging the first 2 there. He was firmly on top. He won by 5 lengths. I think this has always been the plan since. He's by Dixie Union. It was quick ground at York. You suspect it's to be quick on Wednesday, so conditions will be ideal.
Yeah, I do think he's potentially an exciting horse. This is the time of the year that these horses step out of maiden company into these type of races, and we can nearly trot out the same lines about so many of them, and some do and some don't. I do feel he ticks all the right boxes.
Yeah, and I think the same connections had 2 entries originally. They had a winner at Sandown, but they've gone with Ebernara. He looked good that day. It's a step up for him, but he certainly looks ready for it.
Yeah, Mark Johnson is represented by Steeler, who was a winner last time out at Goodwood. That was his second start. He just came unstuck first time out at Haydock, over 7. Same distance at Goodwood last time out. And the further he went here, Mark, the better.
He looks a strong stay to me. I just wonder whether the test on Wednesday will be sufficient for him. I think he's crying out for a mile. He caught the eye at Haydock first time out when he was narrowly beaten second. This was 7. I know it's a relatively easy 7 at Goodwood, but he looks all about stamina. I think he'll improve when he goes a mile. He only wins by 3 parts of a length from Rock God. You've got Kilaki Rise on the outside, showed a lot of promise for Sir Henry Cecil. He did it well enough. The Yard have got a good record in the race. He won it 2002, 2004, but I'm just not quite convinced he's streetwise enough. He just looks immature still. Whether he's quite good enough, I think he needs a mile.
Yeah, and you do need for this race, presuming that it's not a tactical affair, but that's 7. You do need a little bit of tactical speed. I'm not saying he hasn't it, but that's what you do need.
You do, because that bend comes relatively soon, doesn't it? And then you've obviously got the long home straight as well. But he's improved from his first run to his second, but I suspect he'll have to have improved again to his third.
Yeah, he might well do. What do you make of the Aidan O'Brien runner here, Alfonso De Souza? He could be decent, and especially I think coming back on better ground, Mark.
I think that's the key to him. He finished behind Dundonnell at the July meeting when it was testing ground. He was he's seen highlighted on the outside. He was a revelation at Leopardstown next time when he got quick ground for the first time in his career. He won by 9 lengths. He's really well related. He's a half brother to Big Brown, who I think did win a Kentucky Derby in the Preakness Stakes. So he's got a terrific pedigree. I'm a big fan of Dundonnell, who's in the Abdullah colours here. It's obviously a big day on Wednesday with Frankel. I'm sure this horse has been targeted at the race as well. He finishes third here. He wouldn't have liked the ground. He's by a first season sire, first defence. I think he's all about quick ground. He's gone to Lingfield since. He's won by 12 lengths. race, and he broke the course record there for 2-year-olds, which had stood since 1978, so he can't be slow.
No, I mean, that worked out a decent maiden as well, and Dundonald, and this is talking in hindsight, because we know he's gone on a one since, but he ran a race full of promise on that occasion.
He definitely did, and he wouldn't have enjoyed those conditions. He's improved from his first start, but I know it's only a small field on Wednesday, but I think we've got some high quality horses. I know you're keen on Charlie Hill's run, I'm keen on Roger Charlton's, but it should be a really good race. Alfonso De Souza, he's a totally different horse at Leopardstown on that ground, so you definitely respect him. He could have gone for the Gimcrack, he runs here instead.
Yeah, I mean, he could be different gear, Mark. I mean, when a horse wins by 9 lengths, forget what the opposition was like by and large.
Yeah.
You don't win Leopardstown maidens by 9 lengths and be, anything other than pretty high class.
No, I think Ballydoyle had 3 entries. They've gone for the 1. That sounds significant. Usually, if they're not quite so sure, they'll put 2 or 3 in there, but they've only gone for the 1, so it should be a fair race.
Does the fact that he did have the Gimcrack option suggest to you that he's quite a pacey horse?
Yeah, but undoubtedly showed a lot of speed at Leopardstown. The fact they're thinking York over 6, they're going 7 as well, so I'd really respect him as well. But I think I'd be looking towards those 3, the O'Brien runner, the Charlie Hills and the Charlton. I think they're the pick of the thread. I know we're only talking 5 runners, but if I went for one at this stage, I'd go with Dundonald.
Yeah, just the 5 runners then. Amazing that the Acomb Stakes and the Great Voltage, and we'll be having a look at that a little bit later in the programme, have both attracted smaller fields than the Juddmonte International, in which Frankel runs, and everybody was thinking nobody's going to take Frankel on, and I think there's 9 in his race.
There is, yeah, with all the pacemakers as well, but small field, but certainly select.
Yeah, 5 runners for the Pinson Masons LLP Acomb Stakes. Fascinating race nevertheless.